Alright, today we're going to build the starter house. That's what people like to call this that I make. And it is raining. Alright, so we're going to start with a block, put it in the ground. And then you go up here. And it is going to be 3 wide. I mean 2 wide, my bad. And then 3 across. You get the gist. Alright, so that's your house right there. Size. And then we're going to go with the Pleasant Park because I know everybody has that. And I like to call the 2x2s like a one piece, like a 4x4, because we're going to build on the grid. So you want to take this piece right here and then go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. So you get like 4 of these squares away from it, because you're going to need that space. And we are going to put these pillars, and you can use this in any pack you want to do. You don't have to use it in the same pack. And I'm just going to put these pillars down because it's like a puzzle piece. You want to, complete it making this. And we're going to go to the walls. And we're going to want windows on both sides. It is like storming like crazy. So we know we want the windows on both sides like this. So we're going to do that. I usually build this building in, many different ways. I'll start with different areas, but we're just going to do it like this. So you want to want 2 of these. And then you're going to want the next biggest one. And now we have our back wall. I kind of am like all over the place whenever I do these. Let's see. I forgot to add the pillar here. I always forget to do that. So you want a pillar there. You want a pillar here. And I believe you're going to want a single. You get a double. Yeah, get a double right here. And then get a single wall. Place it right here. And then for over here, we're going to get a 4-piece one. Put it right there. And then we're going to go with a double and complete that. Over here is going to be the door. So we're going to go to the doors section. We're going to go to the yellow one because we're kind of doing yellow here. And there we go. We put it like right next to it. This is a big block piece, so if your door is smaller, you can fill in the gap. And then we're going to put another piece right here. Wow, that just charred my little house. Alright. And then obviously you want to dupe the wall size I did over there as well, so do the 4-piece and then a 2-piece. I say 4 and 2, it's just squares wide. Over here, you're going to want another window. This window's going to look more grand, so you can go with the, you can go with like any kind of like window, I guess. I usually just go with that one, I guess. But I mean, if you really wanted to, you could add like this one there, but it's up to you. Alright, so now we got like the wall section. So now we do the roof. So we're going to go to the roof. The mantling is like so annoying. Alright. You can start with the edges, or you can start with the corner. Doesn't matter. I start off with like either or. So once you place one like that perfectly, you could just start snapping stuff together like this. Not worry about as much. That corner roof piece is pretty much how I made most of these builds. So I got the idea for the build, really. I just like thought about it in my head. Alright, so now we're going to start doing these pieces. Because we know for a fact, like, I mean, I have everything memorized, so I don't really need this, but to start off with like that. But for, beginner players, if you put that down, it's easier as like a guideline. Like I said earlier, like putting a puzzle piece together. If you get the edges, Alright, just making sure I placed that correctly. And I went with the style of, let's go with the roof right here. I went with the smallest piece would connect here. I did that on purpose. And then the biggest piece connects here. And then you'll follow that with 2 more big pieces. So big piece, and then you'll get the next smallest piece. And then you'll go a size smaller. And then you'll connect this. And then this. Alright. And then we're going to go with the roof ridges. So sometimes there's caps, but this one doesn't have a cap, so be on the lookout for that. Sometimes the pieces don't want to fit. And if they don't fit, just rip off the roof pieces and do another side. See, look at that. That's a good example right there. I'm actually glad that happened. So I'm gonna break this, and I'm gonna use this piece. See, that one goes on the edge there, and then I'm gonna use, see, that one doesn't. Look. See, it's moments like this you really have to figure out like what you're wanting. Is there a piece that fits in there like that? No. Interesting. Alright, so we're gonna go with the smaller piece here. This is kind of like working with the puzzle. That's unusual. I'm not really sure like what causes it to do stuff like this. It's just very weird. That one's too big. See, look, and then that one's like that. And that's like a 2-piece. So we're gonna break this piece. And we're gonna bring it over here, and then boom, like that. See, it gets a little scary, but once you figure out like how to do it, I mean, it works. It's a good example. All right. And then for this is the what you call a joint, and the joint always goes into the roof, like that. I usually put the joint in the front. Sometimes I put the joints in the side. Depends on what the build I'm kind of working with. And we could perfectly fit that in, and now the roof is completely done. Took a longer than it usually does, but we have that issue. And now we just got these stairs. I don't see houses like this like on Odyssey, but I like doing the stairs like half of the stairs there and half of the stairs there, and it kind of makes like a porch, and I kind of dig that. So I don't put the railing on next. I usually well, I mean the stair railing. I usually put these kind of railing on next. I kind of like the little piece coming out right there, so it's to your preference. And then I put the pieces like that, and then we go back to the stair railing, and then I connect it. Doesn't attach, so I move it over to the right and move it over or whatever direction it is, and then yeah, that's pretty much. Oh yeah, wait, I forgot to do the flooring. Let me do the flooring. My bad. So we're gonna go to the flooring. This one only has one. You can use any flooring you want though. So I like having it where it's facing like vertical, like the boards are facing, this way, like, front and back. And then I go with the biggest piece here. I go with the biggest piece there. And then you go with the next biggest piece and you make sure it's vertical, and then you place it right there. And then you want to place this one here, and then you get a little square that goes there. And then this piece you want forward, goes there. And I flip it around and mix it up, and then it goes there. I usually do this one right after the big one, but that's kind of just, you can just go like whatever direction you want to go in. Boom, and the floorboards are there. We're not done yet though. Because now there's a section called interior. Not all places have these, but it's really good. So now I push this little small door frame here, because it's going to turn into our bathroom, and it's going to turn into our kitchen, so we're going to put it here. Now, not every pack has a interior piece. By the way, interior pieces are shorter than normal pieces. That's what makes them interior. But not all packs have interior pieces, so what I do is I rip the floorboard out, and I put like a exterior and use it as an interior. If that makes like sense to you. I'm sure if you think about it, you'll understand. And you see this corner? What is that? It sounds like a firework going off. Okay, so I line up the corner of the actual exterior wall, and I go wait, hold up, it's not working. 1, 2 blocks down. I always do that. Alright, and that is our house build. So here we have a nice living room area. We have a bedroom. We have a nice sized bathroom. You could fit pretty much anything, bath-wise in here. And then we have a really cool kitchen. Nice windows. And yeah, then over here we have our recreation area too, so you can have whatever you want here. And yeah, that is the house build. Let me know what y'all think.